Log in as a user with access to the finance module. Go to finance receivables. So we'll first make an invoice. So in this particular scenario, we'll make a one-time invoice. However, the same also applies for an RA bill as well. So scroll down to the bottom of the screen and click on the button labeled Add One-Time Invoice. Choose the job that you wish to create the invoice for. So let's choose C22. Let's choose a date. Let's say 6th of October. Click on Save. And let's add an invoice item. Let's make it a lump sum item. Quantity 1 and 5,000 rupees. And sales ledger, we can make it from contract sales, and click on Save. Let's add a service tax to this. And we've got the item, we've got service tax, and we've got a gross amount. Let's add some notes to this. Click on Save and request approval. So the invoice has been created and an approval request has been sent. So let's log in as the portal user. Go to My Approvals tab, and this is the invoice that was just requested. We can preview it if we want to. And this is the invoice. So this looks fine. Let's approve this. And it's approved. Let's log out again. Let's log in as the finance user. Let's go to Finance, Receivables. And let's look at the invoice. So this is the invoice that we just created, C22/28, and the status of this is approved. So once the status of this goes to approved, we can now certify this invoice. So let's certify this invoice. And certification essentially involves setting the amount of the invoice as accepted by the customer. So in this case, let's say the customer accepts 5,700 instead of 5,750. Let's click on Save. And the invoice has been certified and the accounting entries posted. So let's review those accounting entries as well. Let's go to Finance. Let's go to Vouchers. Let's sort by date. This is the invoice that was created. We can preview it. So the receivable amount is 5,700. The invoice amount was 5,750, but 50 rupees is an uncertified amount. So let's go back to the receivables section again. And so 5,750 and the certified amount is 5,700. So now that the invoice is certified and we have a certified amount, the next step is to receive payment against the invoice. However, before we can receive payment against the invoice, we must approve the accounting entry created from the certification. Unless we approve the accounting entry created, then the amount of the certification is not reflected in the books of accounts and you can't actually receive payment. So let's go back to that voucher again and then we'll see what this concept means. So let's search by the date again. This is the voucher, and the status of this voucher is in draft. So it's JV2016/74. So this status of this needs to go into approved. So let's go back and log out as the finance manager and log back in as the portal user. Let's go to the My Approvals tab. This is the voucher of JV201674. We can preview that. So this is the sales voucher. This is the invoice. 5750, 5,000 rupees as the sales amount and 750 as the service tax. So let's approve it. Let's log out and log back in as the finance manager again. Let's go to finance. Let's do a search for the JV. This is the voucher, and the status of this voucher is now approved. Because it's approved, now we can go to the receivables menu item. And now for this invoice, the certified amount is 5,700 and it shows an outstanding amount of 5,700 as well. So earlier the outstanding amount was missing, was not being displayed, and this was because the invoices certification voucher was not approved. Unless the certification voucher is approved, the accounting entry is not actually posted into the books of accounts. So now we have completed all the steps necessary to receive payment. So the steps that we made were: number 1, we made the invoice; number 2, we certified the invoice; number 3, we approved the voucher from the certification of the invoice. So approving the voucher posted the debit entry into sundry debtors. So let's now receive payment. So let's scroll down here and click on the button labeled Add Payment Receipt. Choose the customer. This is Larsen and Toubro. The job is C22. Click on Submit. And these are the invoices that have previously been created. Now in this case, C28/28 is the invoice that we just made. So let's put in that we'll receive 700 rupees from this part payment 1, and maybe we'll get another 300 rupees that will allocate to this invoice, C2221. So what we're saying is that the customer is paying us 1,000 rupees, of which 700 rupees we're allocating against this invoice and 300 rupees will allocate against 21. So let's save this first. Let's put 300 rupees here. And the amount paid is 1,000 rupees. Let's say he's not made any TDS deduction. If he had, we could have put that here. And the payment is by check, drawn on Kotak Bank, instrument number ABCD345678, deposit to my bank, and payment from customer. We can save this. So we've received 1,000 rupees and we've applied 1,000 rupees towards the invoices. And we can click on Confirm Receipt. And confirmation creates the bank receipt voucher. So let's check this bank receipt voucher. Let's go to Finance. Let's go to Receivables. And this is the payment receipt we just made. We can preview the voucher. And this is the bank receipt voucher. So we received 1,000 rupees which we deposited to the bank, and we allocated this 1,000 rupees against 2 separate invoices. So now this voucher also needs to be approved. So let's log out and log in as a portal user. Go to my approvals. This is the bank receipt that we just got, so let's approve it. Click on save, and it's approved. So now we can go to analytics, finance. We can go to ledger transactions, and let's choose the head office, and we can choose the bank. We don't have to choose a job, but we can if we wanted to. So we'll choose a job here. Click on view report. And this is the 1,000 rupees that we received today. So let's see the allocation in the sundry debtors ledger as well. So let's go to sundry debtors. We'll keep C22. Let's click on view report. And these are the two payments, 700 rupees and 300 rupees. This was debited. This was credited to sundry debtors against these two invoices, 28 and 21.